So growing up, I grew up in a household where there was a lot of physical and mental abuse in the household, and it was tough because we were so little, but we had so much stress. Not being able to protect the ones that I loved while we were going through these traumatic events, I think really sat deep inside within me that I didn't even realize it until now, much older. I ask myself too sometimes, like, why do I love boxing so much? What is it about it? And I think it comes down to that, like being in the ring and just being able to, I don't know, just let all that anger and all that aggression out is one of my big reasons. So now I just feel so strong and empowered, and just knowing that, yeah, I will never be able to probably beat a man, you know, but I sure can protect the people that I love enough to like get away, or enough to protect myself. Was never really, I would say, an athlete in high school, but I loved to work out, and it became such an addiction for me. And then once I got introduced to boxing for fitness, it became just an addiction that I just kept wanting to learn more and more. What triggered me as far as knowing it was my passion was I had started training, and I got into the ring with a girl that was at the same level as myself, was super green. And I thought I was gonna get beat up the very first time, and I ended up catching her with my right hand, and she ran out the ring crying. And she was bigger than me, she was taller than me, and the fact that I thought I was gonna lose and I ended up winning, it was just like so empowering. And it was just like, I can say that very second was the moment that I found my passion for boxing. It was just like, it doesn't matter what size you are, like you could do it, and that's kind of what lit that fire under my booty, was that. It's funny because as much as it's a physical sport, it's so much more mental than anything. Like the other day I saw this, one of the boys, he was sparring, and it was a tough sparring match for him. He was getting broken down, and I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally. You could just tell he wanted to quit. After he got out the ring, and the coach, he's a tough coach, and I like that. I really do like that tough love, because that's life. Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, you're okay, Yeah, you might have that once in a while, but no, life isn't like that. Life is hard. So, he got out the ring, and he was just like down like this. And then he went in the bathroom, came out, you could tell he was crying. He packed up all his stuff, he put it in his bag, and then the coach was like, where are you going? Sorry, it's hard not to laugh. He said, we ain't done yet. He's like, we ain't done yet? You going home for real? You got done with sparring? We still got work to do. He's like, we still got work to do. And then he was just all down on himself. He's like, and he was like, and then he starts preaching it and starts spitting some knowledge. He's like, that's the same thing I said. Like, that's life. If you quit right now, you walk out that door, you know what you're going to do in life? You're going to quit every single time it gets hard. And that's one of the reasons why people just love boxing so much, because it is that. So he stayed, he wrapped up his hands, and started hitting the bag. Honestly, I'm just so motivated. I feel like I have so much to offer. I have so much to offer myself, my passion, boxing, with my job. I love my job, and bills have to get paid, but I also love my job. So I want to make sure I'm performing well at my job. And I don't know how I do it, but all I can say is the love for it. The love gets me up every morning.
worry about D. If D ain't gonna do nothing else, she gonna work.
Play a pin.
Hey, play position full. I got
You gotta just change the channel. My mom always says, like, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling it, just change the channel. Like, we have control over our minds. I think what helped is not believing, because when you know you don't believe in yourself, it shows. Other people will see it. So I think when you truly believe in yourself, there's nothing that anybody can tell you. They might laugh at you, they might clown on you, but you just like brush it off and you're like, okay. Just kind of like that whole thing with like your poker face. Like, why don't you have a poker face? I have nothing to prove to anybody, because I know what I have to bring to the table. So that's kind of one of those things with turning pro. I know what I got to bring to the table now, and there's nothing that anybody can say or do that's gonna change me from believing that I know that I'm ready to become professional.
Our next bout scheduled for 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Contracted weight here is 164 pounds.
My mother, she came from Mexico. She immigrated with no mother, no father, no nothing, just herself, and came from nothing. And now she owns a little house cleaning business, and she thinks she just feel like she doesn't have much. But I'm like, sorry, no, I'm just like, you've given us so much. Like, I am who I am because of you. Like, we say it in Spanish, it's like, somos guerreras. Like, we went to war already. There's nothing that we haven't seen or gone through that can scare us now. So that's why I don't have any fear in that ring. When I'm in there, I've already seen that. I already felt that. I've already felt physical abuse. So like, somebody hitting me is not, it's not gonna do anything to me. I don't feel it like that. As far as like the mental part of it, I've already gone through a lot of mental just battles within myself. So yes, it tends to come out sometimes when I'm in boxing, and like, as far as like talking about having that control, that's where, I think with some things that I'm working on, but being aware of where all that anger stems from, like, why, because I'm not an angry person. If you meet me outside the ring, I'm like always laughing, I'm always talking, I'm always just like positive. I feel positive and I'm happy. And I truly take pride in the fact of knowing that I have a good heart, and knowing that I know I have a good light, knowing that people love my energy, because I love my own energy. You know what I mean? And I want to give that back. Oh, for you? Letting up, yeah. I don't know. They're like. I think my advice for anybody is just do it, man. Just step your foot into that door and give yourself that love that you deserve. Take care of your mind, your body, Because if you can't love yourself, and I'm not even talking about physically, if you can't love yourself truly, like, you can't give to anybody else. You can't give to your kids. You can't give it to your partner because you're not loving on yourself. So I would just say, even if it's not a combat sport, like, find whatever it is that you're passionate about or that you like, and do that, because that's only going to bring you happiness to be able to be happy for everybody else and for yourself.